Yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got another review on the special edition release Lars BENDER card. We're going to go through the card's detailed stats, clips and summary. Before we get into all of that, if I could ask you guys to please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when I upload, and comment down below if you're going to be doing either of these brothers. Guys, one other thing I want to ask as well is please do hit that Instagram link below in the description and hit that follow button. You'll see all my updates there as well. Any other content that I decide to upload there will be there too. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So guys, getting into this Lars BENDER team and kind of player review as well. This is the team I played him in, of course, guys. In that right back slot, I tried him in the centre back slot and I tried him in the DM slot as well. And guys, what I have to say is of the two of the brothers that have been released, Lars is the better card by far. His stats play far better to the meta, and his general size as well plays nicely in hand with that. If we just get further into the video though, let's just go for it. 6'1", medium high work rates, right footed, 3-star moves, and 3-star weak foot. So his brother has 4-star weak foot, he has 3-star, and his brother has 2-star moves, he has 3-star. I think this distribution is a little better, especially if you are going to play him at right back. It's not too bad. If you're going to play him centrally, I would have liked that weak foot to be a little bit better. It does let him down at times, but overall guys, I think those are pretty manageable at the fullback slot. 5 games played, 1 goal scored, no assists. We'll get into that con of the assists very shortly. In terms of chemistry style, guys, I put the anchor on him. I wanted his physicality, pace, and defending all to be a little better. I felt like that suited him well. However, there are a number of ways, of course, as per usual, that you can go with this card, depending on how you want him to play and where you want him to play. If you're going to play him in the midfield, the defending and physicality probably isn't as important as the technical aspects of his game. Which leads us into the cons and the pros of this card. The first one, we'll go through the pros first, guys. His defending stats are all pretty solid, guys, and that's really nice. I like to have my defenders at an elite level of defending, so I boosted that element first of all. His passing is pretty good. His dribbling is actually okay. His ball control is a little loose, which does, and his dribbling is a little low as well, which means that he's not as good as you'd want him to be. Maybe that would be a good place to boost this card. I feel like though that with this card as well, given the size that he is, when I boosted that physicality, especially the strength and the aggression, he became very powerful in that fullback slot, able to tackle anyone and even cover him behind the centre backs as well and get a lot of tackles in on the strikers too. His pace is another great pro of this card. He's actually surprisingly quick for such a big guy, and that's really a nice thing to have as well. In terms of the cons, guys, like we mentioned, the dribbling is a big one. Other than that, guys, there aren't that many. I would say that this card is very well rounded considering he is a fullback, and I think the 3-star smooth, 3-star weak foot is probably the one you would look at as the other con of this card. Finally, the player traits: injury prone like his brother, dives into tackles like his brother, the leadership trait, and the team player trait. The only one I don't like there, of course, the injury prone one. But overall, not a bad set of traits to have on this card. And now that we've covered all of that, we're going to get into what the SBC requirements are for you guys to get your hands on it. So guys, if we just get straight into the Lars BENDER SBC requirements: 253 on the PlayStation, 255 on the Xbox, and 302 on the PC. 2 squads required: an 84 rated squad with a Germany player and an 84 rated squad with 1 informed player and a Leverkusen player. Chemistry is both quite low for these squads. 112k on the first one, 140k on the second one. It's 10k less actually than SVEN BENDER's requirements, I actually think this card may well be the better of the two. We will discuss that more in the summary and the comparison between the two. But now that we've covered that, guys, just a quick cover on the SBC requirements, we're going to get into some of the clips that I got with him. So guys, getting into some of Lars BENDER's clips, and what you guys are going to see here is his general ability to defend, his ability to play in that fullback slot or that centre back slot and the DM spot as well. And overall, guys, he did really well for me. I was thoroughly impressed with how this card played and what he was able to do. Now, the first thing I want to get into, guys, is that pace. He's got a very good level of pace, guys. And what's weird about this card is that he has a 6'1" height and not a wide frame, but a reasonably big frame. And what that means is that you're able to cover ground very quickly, recover very well as well. It's not as big as someone, say, like Kleiber, but it's the size of the frame as well allows you to move him around the pitch, whether that's centre back, whether that's full back, whether that's defensive midfielder, and play adeptly at any of those positions. He's very capable at all of them. The next thing I want to get into, guys, is the key part of this card, which is his defending. Now, guys, his defending was really nice. He did really well for me in terms of one-on-one situations, in terms of recoveries, in terms of ability to be able to just track down the runs, fighting for the ball, as you guys can see here in the box, getting the ball back and creating opportunities for me. All of that was fantastic with this card, and that was something that I really loved, was that I was just able to do a lot of the defending dirty work with this card that I would be expecting to be able to do, having paid such a high price or have used so much fodder in an SBC for this card. The next thing I want to get into, guys, is his physicality. I think this card, for some reason, maybe just because he played more at fullback, he felt very physical and very physically capable. Maybe it's also because of his pace. He was able to get around the runners more easily than his brother, and I think that makes him therefore a maybe slightly better defender as well. I think that pace really does play a factor in that, but the physicality was fantastic on this card as well. If we just get into the passing as well, guys, another pro of this card, really great passing, an ability to just distribute the ball down the line there, or play little 1-2s inside and return and get the ball back again. This card was good at doing it all, recovering the ball in midfield there and keeping it simple as well. The final thing I want to get into, guys, is his attacking prowess. Now, although you can attack with this card, guys, his agility and all that isn't bad, I do feel like because of the way that this card lacks in dribbling and ball control, he does struggle a little bit going forward. He's not ideal for attacking, but going forward is not impossible with this card. You are able to create chances. I didn't think his crossing was particularly good, but you're still able to make those easy crosses when required, as you guys have seen from a couple of these clips. So overall, not too bad in that regard either. The only thing I would really say that stands out for me is that 3-star weak foot in the middle of the park. This is the goal that he scored for me, guys. Driving here, playing it into Muller, getting the 1-2 back, and smashing it into the far side here. How's this for a goal? So guys, getting into this Lars Bender summary, 253 on the PlayStation, 254 on the Xbox, and 301 on the PC. The key stats of this card, guys: the acceleration, sprint speed, the agility is good, the balance is good, the defending stats are all fantastic as well, other than that heading accuracy. And the physicality isn't that bad either. I think his size at the fullback slot really allows him to be far more physical than other players there. In terms of the cons of this card, guys, I would say that the dribbling and the ball control really does affect him badly. He needs a helping hand in that department if you're going to have any chance of using this card well, which will bring me on to the chemistry style, guys. You could look towards a Guardian. That will help his dribbling and ball control out tremendously and will allow his defending stats to go to an elite level. You guys can then see how he plays in that regard. I did also try a shadow on him. You could try an engine too to help out that agility and balance. However, I feel like without helping his ball control a little more, you are going to struggle to retain the ball with this card. Well, this is what the shadow does to him, guys, as well. I don't think that's the one I'd go for. I think his pace is plenty enough, and you can avoid boosting that in favor of going for something else. I think the Guardian may well be the best way to go on this one. In terms of similar players, guys, if we just get straight into this now, I don't want to say Climber because Climber is a little bit bigger than this card, and so is Mbabu in terms of width. I think this card is a leaner card, and it sort of combines the lean build style of Ricardo Pereira with something like a Climber or an Mbabu, who are a more powerful, bigger presence. He's a tall, lean guy, and that leads to a different style of play that you don't really have on any of these fullbacks. Kleiber and Mbabu, of course, much stronger. If you look at Limer, maybe similar to him in terms of playstyle. Tavernier, much smaller, but more capable in that regard. Diogo Dalot, of course, a bigger one as well. So really somewhere original in that sort of build. In terms of linkability, guys, he of course has the perfect link to his brother, Sven Bender. Perfect links, of course, to Karim Bellarabi and Jonathan Tah as well. Strong links to other German players in the Bundesliga, German icons, of course, as well as other Bayer Leverkusen players. Herdecki is in there, Wendell is in there, and of course the big one, which a lot of you guys will be considering, is Tapsoba. That card, of course, is a strong link to this card too. If we were to check about the price, guys, now if I go into the price here, you see that he sits below the man of the match Cuadrado, above the what if Ricardo Pereira. Now, if I was to suggest where I think this card sits, now taking out this Tavernier because this is a freak card, he is easily the best fullback for me in the game. If we look upwards compared to, say, Cuadrado, Mbabu, Serginho Dest, I don't quite think he's at that level, and I don't quite think that I believe that he plays slightly better than Ricardo Pereira. So for me, this card, guys, sitting around the and I think he does play better than Juan Cuadrado, because I have tried this card as well. So I would say that this card sits slightly lower than the level that he's at. He's a well-priced card, guys. I wouldn't say that he's a very well-priced card. He's just a well-priced card, a fair-priced card, I would say. And overall, guys, that leads me into my final recommendation, which is if you are going to pick one of Sven or Lars Bender to do, I would recommend picking Lars. I think Lars is a better card overall, able to be more versatile in your team. Of course, has that strong link to Tapsoba and allows you to build in a team without using Herdecki in it, and gives you more options in terms of where you can move players around once you switch up your formations as well. Hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, please do smash that like button, and until next time, I will see you all in a bit.